Rising GOP star Senator Ted Cruz in Iowa over the weekend, fueling speculation, naturally, about a possible presidential run in 2016. Took part, in fact, in a pheasant hunt yesterday. And Cruz is not backing down from the controversy over his efforts to dismantle Obamacare, firing back at his critics who question his tactics. Take a listen to what Senator Cruz had to say at the Republican Party of Iowa's Reagan dinner on Friday night. Take a listen.
But if you read the New York Times, they will tell you that this battle accomplished nothing. Let me tell you, I think collectively we accomplished a great deal. One of the things we accomplished in the fight over Obamacare is that we elevated the national debate over what a disaster, what a train wreck, how much Obamacare is hurting millions of Americans all across this country.
Or is the rollout doing that all on its own? Joining me now is David Mercer, former DNC National Finance Director, Brad Blakeman, former Deputy Assistant to President George W. Bush. What about that, Brad? I mean, maybe Obamacare would be even more unpopular had it not been the rollout obscured by the government shutdown.
That's right. I think Ted Cruz got incredibly lucky because after this debacle of shutting down the government, yes, Obamacare is now being proven not only to be a disaster technologically, but also in substance. So I think we took our eye off the ball. You don't bring a butter knife to a gunfight. There was no end game to what Senator Cruz was advancing. And as Republicans, we have to govern out of reality, not what we wish government to be. The only way we get a better shot at improving government with our policies is let's get elected to office. Let's improve our chances in the Senate and in the House. That's where we have to do our work.
You know, David, I want to quote Cruz here. He said the Senate Republicans did not stand together. He's ripping his own party here. We didn't stand together. Had we stuck together, the outcome might have been different. David, by what calculation or mathematical equation could that have happened? I mean, it's a fundamental fact that Democrats have the majority, and indeed, Harry Reid wouldn't even bring up Cruz's bills for a vote.
And that's why many senators among the Republicans said it was a fool's errand to even attempt what Ted Cruz had done. Lamar Alexander said it pretty aptly, I think, in saying that, look, we want to win the White House and we want to win the majority in the Senate in 2014. And to do that, we have to have the American people trust us with government. And it's pretty hard to imagine now, sitting here with the audience and others, that Cruz did anything to enhance the Republican perception or the perception of the American public that the GOP can be trusted with government, as we saw in the recent national or Wall Street Journal national NBC poll, that only 24% have a favorability view of the GOP, which is at its or all-time low, and in fact less popular than Obamacare, to Brad's point.
You know, Brad, even Democrats are now calling this whole rollout of Obamacare a failure, an embarrassment. I mean, the list goes on and on. If this thing isn't fixed, I mean, it could collapse. And not only that, beyond that, I mean, people, millions of Americans are getting sticker shock. They're seeing premium increases double and even triple. And then you've got roughly 7 to 8 million are getting policy cancellations. I mean, everybody may forget the government shutdown, and, you know, Ted Cruz may be a rock star.
Well, look, it's not enough for Republicans to be against something. We have to be for something. And there's no question that Obamacare and the rollout has been a disaster. That's pretty much agreed upon across the board. But what the public has to realize is, and what Republicans have to realize is, we have to advance policies to make the changes that are necessary in Obamacare. We still have President Obama for 3 years. And Greg, assuming that the Senate took up the House bill into funding Obamacare, you think Obama would have signed it?
Yeah, of course.
And if he vetoed it, we didn't have the votes to override the veto. So we have to govern with a hand that we're dealt, not the hand we wish we had.
Yeah, but, you know, David, there are a whole bunch of Democrats who are now jumping all over President Obama. They sent a letter to the White House demanding delays on the enrollment and on the penalties and so forth. I mean, even Democrats who are once in support of Obamacare are jumping ship. It's getting pretty bad for the president, isn't it, David?
Well, I would say this, Greg, and in clarification, they're not abandoning SHIP or abandoning Obamacare, and that this is not a problem with Obamacare. It's a problem with the technology that was used to administer the access to the website or internet. And the point being that, look, with regard to the cost, we need to talk about the millions of people that are getting rebates on their insurance with regard to the cost that they were earlier paying, because it's required within Affordable Care Act that they have to spend 80% on care and not on promotion and other internal benefits to the company. So we're saying, not only that, we're seeing 6.1 million elderly Americans saw $6.3 billion in savings on their prescription drugs. So Obamacare is working. The point being that we have to fix this technological glitch and move on to providing.
This is just the beginning.
It's too early to say that it's working. It's got a long way to go. So we'll wait and see what happens. Out of time. David Mercer, Brad Blakeman, good to see you both.
Thanks.
Time now.